I can't believe I ruined my sleeping schedule for this! But I'll do it again for you, baby. Hey yo guys, after finishing the Rent-A-Girlfriend anime and feeling so much cringe in my heart after Kazuya busted the most bait and switch confession at the end of the first season, I just couldn't sit back and wait for the second season, and seeing how the manga was so deep, I decided to read it. So this video will mainly focus on the manga, but I am going to talk about if the second season is going to be worth the watch and if I'm going to watch it, and spoilers up ahead, yes, I'm going to watch it. But I will also go on about what I hope for the second season and any season after that, because this series is actually really long, too long. But most importantly, we're going to review the manga to see if it's worth reading and my thoughts on it. And if you guys want to read the manga after you read the anime, you got to start on chapter 50 because that covers the last episode of the season. Or you can just read it from the first chapter because the anime kind of speeds up a couple developments from the manga. Like for example, Chizuru and Kazuya actually had smaller interactions in college before they figure out that they were neighbors and that they actually went on a date. And then a couple other things were actually condensed for the anime, so it might be worth checking out for the first chapter. If not, go ahead and start from the 50th chapter because the anime still does a pretty good job of adapting the original source. And then there's over 200 chapters after you read after chapter 50, unless you want to read after the second season. Either way, there's probably going to be 200 chapters to read, and that's a lot, and that's why I lost a lot of sleep because I just really wanted to catch up, and there were so many cliffhangers here. And just to let you guys know, I didn't just recently read the whole thing. Funny enough, I caught up to the manga at chapter 216, 2 chapters away from 218, and if you guys have read the manga, you know about this infamous chapter, and if you know about it, hit this video with a like, and if you haven't read it and you're still watching, might as well hit your boy with a like too, it helps me out a lot, thanks. So as you can tell, this video has been on the back burner for a minute, but with how spicy the manga has gotten, the big developing plots, and with the second season around the corner, I thought it was a good time to get back on this Rent-A-Girlfriend hype and talk about the very unhealthy relationship that I and Kazuya have with it. So is the manga and will season 2 of the anime be worth watching and reading? Yeah, sure. Maybe, yes, I will say yes for me. It's a hard thing to recommend, really. The story does a really good job of building up Chizuru because for the most part in the first season she comes off as perfect, but you actually learn that she has a lot of flaws and she's also mature and going through a lot. And because of all this, you want to see her succeed, and Kazuya, as cowardly as he is, does a good job of supporting her as best as he can. As you remember in the first season, Chizuru is an aspiring actress, and as annoying as Kazuya is, he does help her in her pursuit of that dream. Like, he really helps her out when it counted the most. And even though it sounds like I'm bashing Kazuya right now, but he does develop and he does man up in moments in this manga and this story. Kazuya actually does so much that if he were to confess to Chizuru, he actually puts up a case into why he's actually a good boyfriend, because for the most part he's been a caring and loyal guy. But even so, Kazuya is still a coward, he's still oblivious because he still thinks that he's not worthy to be Chizuru's boyfriend. But I mean, if this girl existed, so would I. Like, damn dog, I know what league I play in. If I know I'm gonna lose, why would I set myself up to fail? Man, on that point, I guess I've been a little too rough on Kazuya because you and I aren't so different. Maybe that's why I connect so much to this story. Oh god, we're just the same. But all of this doesn't mean that Chizuru will say yes to Kazuya, and that's the conclusion he comes to through 200 chapters. Yes, the manga takes his goddamn time getting to the point, and that point we still haven't got to, but still there are major developments that still hook you to this story. And that is the biggest strike for Rent-A-Girlfriend, and that is its pacing and the length of this story. It still keeps it interesting, but goddamn, you can tell that it's dragging this confession that has still yet to happen. At this point, Rent-A-Girlfriend is the king of stretching out this story, having a cliffhanger after every chapter, and every time you're gonna think you're gonna get a confession, something always comes up to stop it, and you always react like this every time it happens. And another fault for Rent-A-Girlfriend is that Kazuya's internal monologues are so repetitive, and this series is long, so you get a lot of monologues, and a lot of the time they do get really repetitive. Like, we get it, Chizuru is hot. And the only positive point that you can get out of the internal monologues is that Reiji's art is really great because the outfits and designs are a slam dunk, man. You can tell that Reiji really loves his fashion because he shows it through his characters, because every character always wears something different. Well, I'm just talking about the girls because Kazuya always wears the same shirt and puffy jacket, but when you get the internal monologues, you do get a focus on whatever Chizuru is wearing, and I do like that, but it does get repetitive. But I do like the focus on what she's wearing and the little details that really make this stand out. I swear it's a double-edged sword. At one point I like it, and then I get that it does get repetitive because a lot of fans do bring that up. And then let's go with perfect Chizuru, because she is not perfect, because she is way too stone cold to Kazuya, because, you know, why is she like this? Why is she stretching out this confession too? As we see from the first season, she obviously does want him to confess because she might actually like him, and you get to find out why she is the way that she is. But it's still so frustrating, but you can't help but still root for her because, I mean, come on. It's Chizuru. But let's move on to the great moments with the other girls. Like, Sumi is so great. She is innocently perfect. I know that she's shy and can't talk, but she does her best to support Kazuya because she really likes Kazuya from that first date, because Kazuya showed her that there is a place for her in this rent-a-girlfriend world. Sumi is going to be a fan favorite because there's nothing to hate about her. And then there's Ruka, and she has great moments too, because I'm going to confess, I am actually Team Ruka, as unpopular of a team that might be. And I know that the best girl and the champion of this story is going to be Mitsuharu Chizuru, but I'm going to go for the underdog here. I like the upfront girl who doesn't play around with her feelings and wears her feelings on her chest. It's like how I switched up teams for Nino in the quintessential quintuplets. I was aiming for Miku, but after that school trip confession with that bait and switch, she got me fucked up on that. And after reading the manga and seeing Nino be upfront about her crush as everyone played around it, I had no choice but to root for her and change sides. And Ruka is exactly that. Yes, she gets in the way of Chizuru and Kazuya, but she isn't wrong. She likes Kazuya, she wants a relationship, and Chizuru just plays too damn much. It's literally that Patrick meme with that one guy, I forget his name. Oh, it's Man Ray, but you know the one where he's just like basically goes like, so you want a girlfriend, right? Yeah. So you're too afraid to ask a girl out, right? Yeah. So what if a girlfriend just asks you to be her boyfriend? Wouldn't that be better? Yeah, right? So why not date Ruka? No, I want to be with Chizuru. Like, what the fuck? But that's enough of me on my soapbox. I will die on this hill. Team Ruka, let's rise up. And then there's Mami, but I don't really like Mami-chan. I really hope that she fails, but let me know in the comments, why do you like Mami-chan? Because there's a lot of people that like Mami. So yeah, I was really all over the place with Rent-a-Girlfriend, but is it good? Is it bad? This really reminds me of that Community episode where Abed is trying to figure out if Nicolas Cage is a good actor or a bad one, and I'm in the same headspace. And I do recommend this series to people because it really is an experience, seriously. You might love it, you might hate it, but it's a fucking roller coaster of emotions. So yes, I do recommend the second season and onwards because there is a lot of materials to be adapted, and I hope that it cuts a lot of the fat from the manga and it doesn't stretch out the story as much as it does. Because there's a lot of good stuff in here, but you know, the amount of just dragging and stretching out the story might turn off a couple people off. So obviously, if you watched and liked the first season, you're gonna like the second season. If you're watching this video because the second season coming out and you want to see if the show is good, watch that first season. If you don't like the first season, sadly this won't be the show for you. But I still recommend to watch the first season, even if it's something that you don't expect yourself to be watching, because I also expected not to like this show, and look at me now, I've read the whole manga. And yes, I do recommend the manga if you like the show. And yes, the manga does get a bad rep here and there because it gets called rent-a-mid just because it's such a slow burn and it does drag on, but I follow it every Monday. I don't know if it's Stockholm Syndrome at this point, and I really want to reach the end, and I do recommend the manga. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about Rent-a-Girlfriend. Have you read the manga? Did you only watch the first season? Who's your favorite girl? Is it Chizuru? Is it Ruka? I'm Team Ruka, but I still like Chizuru. Let me know in the comments below. And if you made it this far into the video, please do like the video. That will help me out a lot. Don't forget to subscribe so I can become a rental girlfriend too, and I hope to catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Nah, but seriously, Chizuru is the best girl.